第8回スキルアップ研修会英語いいですか皆さん、忙しい中集まっていただいてありがとうございます。私はデイビッド・バーネットと申します。よろしくお願いします。皆さんが、通訳案内士あるいは通訳案内士の勉強をしている、いうことを聞きましたので、分野別の、英語のスキルアップのワークショップということで、この時間は、サイクルツーリズムに、いろいろちょっと、話させていただきたいと思います。でサイクルツーリズムという言葉が最近ちょっといろいろニュースで見かけると思うんですけど、実際のその話はまだまだ知られてないと思いますので、今日はそういう話したいと思います。で前半の方は座学でちょっとそのサイクルツーリズムの現場の実態とかその背景とかいろいろ話させていただきたいです。で後半は英語のスキルアップのちょっとワークショップ的なペア同士のちょっと英語のスキルアップにしたいと思います。でせっかくですから、この前半の座学の方のパワーポイントのプレゼンテーションは全部英語でやらせていただきたいと思います。で最終的にはその質疑応答は設けますんで、ただそのパワーポイントのプレゼンテーションの英語の中でももし分かんないところとかありましたら、ぜひ気軽に手を挙げて質問していただければ、そこで質問答えるかどうかは別として気軽に質問してください。では、早速そのプレゼンテーションの方なんですけど、サイクルツーリズムというcycle tourism. You may have read about this in the newspapers, and recently it's very popular amongst local governments. Yeah, cycle tourism. But what is cycle tourism? Maybe not a lot of people know about what actually goes on site during tours. And today I want to talk a little bit about cycle tourism. Okay. This is me in 1990, 28 years ago. 元祖 inbound cycle tourism ではないか。I've been riding bikes now for 40 years, more than 40 years. I've cycled extensively in Hokkaido, Japan, and this is Rishiri Rebun in 1990. Around 1990, 91, 92, I did extensive touring around Hokkaido. And before that, before coming to Japan, I also cycled in Europe, in different countries in Europe, especially Holland, Netherlands, France, and my home country in England. Well, England, Scotland, in Great Britain. Yeah. And so I cycle about, 12,000 kilometers a year. So that's been going on for the last at least 25, 30 years. So I could have cycled around the world so many times during that time. Okay. So talking about cycle tourism in Japan, there are basically two types of cycle tourism. And I work for a company now that deals in this type of cycle tourism. I work for a company called Cycling Frontier. And Cycling Frontier was set up about 9 years ago by a friend of mine called Ishizuka Yuya. And he's a former works rider who rode professionally in Italy for a couple of years before coming back to... He was born and raised in Hokkaido, and before coming back to Hokkaido, where he started this Cycling Frontier. And we run cycle tours for inbound, for foreign cyclists, and also for riders from all over Japan. It's the largest and oldest cycle tourism company in Hokkaido. Okay, so basically there are the two types of cycle tourism in Japan, and if we divide the cycle tourism into the two main types of cycle tourism. One is history and culture based cycle tourism, and the other is sport and leisure based cycle tourism. Of course, within these groups we have sort of inbound and Japanese tourists and things like this, but the main two groups, the main two types of cycle tourism are these two types. Hokkaido is 99.9% the right-hand side sport and leisure based. Many of the cyclists, the majority of cyclists who come to Hokkaido come for sport and leisure. Okay, so let's have a look at the two different main types. So first of all, let's have a look at the history and culture-based cycle tourism. So history and culture-based cycle tourism, the four main points here. The visitors, they visit historic and or cultural facilities using sites using a bicycle as a mode of transport. Okay. Basically, there's short distances involved. Basically, it's within urban environments. This type of cycle tourism is very popular in places like Kyoto and Nara, even far as Nagano, places like that. The riders are unexperienced riders. They come for the culture and the history. They usually use city bikes, what we would call mamachari, or sort of cross bikes, things like that. They're not experienced riders. And also, the guides have little or no bike-related skills. They're just using the bike like a housewife would with a shopping bike to go around these historic and cultural facilities. Okay, and that's the history and culture-based cycle tourism. As I said, that's not so popular in Hokkaido. Hokkaido is the type of cycle tourism in Hokkaido, which is much more popular, is the sport and leisure-based cycle tourism. Okay, a sport and leisure-based cycle tourism, the cycling itself is the main purpose of the tour. Okay, wide range of distances amid rural environments. Okay, this photograph is actually taken in Shiratoko, going up to the 5 lakes. A wide range of abilities. So we have riders who come who've not experienced riding a sports bike before, probably only ridden a city bike, a shopping bike before, but they want to ride a bicycle in Hokkaido. We get novice riders. We also get advanced riders, riders who are old professionals, riders who are still competing, riders who are into triathlons and things like that. And so we get a wide range of and levels of riders. Okay. So, in addition to knowing the routes and the alternative routes when dealing with a wide range of abilities, guides must also possess maintenance and road safety skills. I'm not sure, to tell you the truth, I've never been involved in this history and culture-based cycle tourism, but I'm not sure what would happen if these guys got a puncture. They'd probably leave the bike there and walk, or they'd get someone to bring another bike. I'm not sure what happens if you get a mechanical related, but there's probably bike shops around where they're visiting anyway. With sport and leisure-based cycle tourism, there are no bike shops around. There are no places where you can buy sort of spare tubes and things like this. So the guides, they have to know maintenance skills to get out if they have maintenance problems. So that's a main difference between the two types of cycle tourism. As I said, in Hokkaido, because of the size of Hokkaido and the distances between towns, and also sort of the types of cultural and historical sites around Hokkaido and their locations, Hokkaido is not so suitable, should I say, for culture and historical based cycle tourism. Okay. So let's have a look at the characteristics. Today we'll concentrate more on the sort of sports and leisure based cycle tourism, because that's the sort of stuff that we do here in Hokkaido. And so the other characteristics of sport and leisure based cycle tourism, of course, along the way there are sightseeing and activities along the way. It's not all cycling. Yesterday we were actually doing an event where we were picking prunes and eating prunes. We also do activities, fruit picking and things like that. Park golf is another activity that we sometimes do on these sports and leisure. As I said, the Hokkaido's got a reputation for outdoor, especially cycling, and so people come here from all over Japan, come here from Southeast Asia. We even get people coming from Europe, America, Australia to cycle in Hokkaido. And different activities. We also have a support car. Depending on the size of the group that we ride with, we have a variety of support cars. So on the right there we have two of our vans that are used as support vehicles. Now I'll explain about that a little later, about the actual what the support vehicle does. But depending on the size of the group, we have support vehicles. We have, at the moment, we've got 3 large vans, and we've also got 3 Subaru Legacy cars that we use, depending on the size and the type of groups that come cycling. Okay. So what are these support cars? What are their role? And the role of these support cars, various roles. They provide mechanical support for riders. They provide refreshments and water. A lot of this cycling is in places where there are no towns, so we cycle between towns, and sometimes it's 25 kilometers to the nearest convenience store. And so we carry refreshments, and we carry tools for mechanical support. We also use to carry luggage from between hotels, and also as a sag wagon. So if someone decides to give up before the end of the day's ride, they can ride in the van, and we put the bike on the top of the van. Okay, it's a leisure ride. It's not a race. They don't have to cycle as quickly as they can. They don't have to complete it. They can jump in and out of the support car whenever they like. So the support car is also used for carrying luggage and people. Okay, so what kind of people, what kind of tourists come on cycling tours in Hokkaido? Okay, so we have a look at the types of people. So we have a wide range of people. We get people who have never really ridden sports bikes before. They're just sort of, they want to, maybe in the future they want to ride a road bike, or they want to ride a cross bike. They've only ridden a shopping bike until now. We get couples who maybe the guy is a cyclist, but his wife or his girlfriend is not really into cycling, and it's a way of sort of compromising, coming to Hokkaido, and he can ride a bike, and she can also see the scenery. We get a lot of customers in this sort of range, the novice cyclists. Okay, but we also get quite a few sort of advanced cyclists. The group on the left here is a group from Taiwan. This is actually only half of the group. There was 42, 43 people came over. It's actually a company tour. The boss of the company is a keen cyclist, and so a lot of the employees have also been sort of forced into being keen cyclists, or at least cyclists. And they came over, was it last year, 2 years ago? And they all had their own sort of shirts made. Maybe 4 or 5 of the people in the company didn't ride at all. They just rode in the truck all day. But it was a company tour, so they got a free trip to Hokkaido. But these guys were all very keen cyclists. Some of them ride in races in Taiwan and things like that. So we get a very high level of riders too. The photograph on the right-hand side, if you're not familiar with bikes, you probably won't know, but it's got the Dogma F10. It's a very special kind of bike. The guy who won to the France 2 years running, he rides this bike. This was a group from Hong Kong who came here last year. There are only 8 of them, but when we parked their bikes for lunch at the side of the restaurant, we sort of calculated that the 8 bikes there would be worth 10 million yen. So I'm not sort of mixing up the zeros and that. Yeah, 1000 So we have the keen cyclists and the really keen cyclists. Yeah, we get a lot of tourists from China who come with extremely expensive bikes. The guy, in fact, in the picture earlier, who was riding down towards the 5 lakes in Shiratoko, this guy in the front in the yellow, his bike was worth 450. まあ450万 a lot of money, yeah, 450万. So very serious riders. The problem with cycle tourism is that the different ranges of abilities of cyclists and the knowledge of the cyclists sometimes will be far greater than the knowledge of anyone who's doing interpretation for these types of groups. And so that causes maybe problems sometimes. The guides and the cyclists, if the cyclists are of a high level and the guides speak to them and they speak no English and we speak no Japanese, we can at least communicate by using technical terms. And sometimes those technical terms can go right over the head of interpreters that are involved. So it's quite a complicated, quite a difficult sort of genre to translate for, I think. Okay. We also do winter touring and winter cycling. So here we on the left is we mix sort of tours with what we call in English ice fishing. Yeah, so wakasagi, ice fishing, and the mountain bike or fat bike. The fat bike is the one with the really fat tires. The fat bike cycling tours, and also we do this on the center one is a hill climb that we do up Mount Tokachidake in winter. Last year, the start it was minus 17 degrees. So that's actually growing. At the moment, it's not all that popular. Can't think why, but it's getting more and more popular, and people are becoming more interested in sort of ice and snow cycling, and more and more people from Taiwan are coming over to experience these things. Yeah, the picture on the left here, the guy on the far right, he's actually a Japanese keirin senshu. He's the world masters champion, and he came over to do some, because he's based in Osaka, and obviously he's never ridden on snow and ice before. And so this is an area of sports and leisure-based cycle tourism that is growing even more, I think, in Hokkaido. The rate of growth is quite fast. Maybe not so many people, and the actual number of people is still quite low, but the rate of growth is quite high, I think. Okay. So now I want to just explain about how we actually ride during these tours. Yeah. So we're still talking about sort of the general sort of thing about cycle tourism. So I want to try and use the whiteboard to explain how these tours actually take place. Okay. So, as I say, we have a wide range of sizes of groups. And so, if we only have a small group of maybe up to about 4 riders, we will not use a support car, unless it's a tour that is actually between hotels, a long-term 2 or 3 day tour that's between hotels, and we need to transport the luggage, then we wouldn't use a support car. We'd have a guide, okay? We'd have a guide rider, and behind the guide rider we would have the 4 cyclists, okay? And any punctures or mechanical problems that occurred, the guide will deal with, okay? If we have mechanical problems such as a frame breaking or things like that, then we have to call for help. But usually most of the problems can be done by the guide, okay? If we have larger groups, obviously the larger the group, the bigger the gap in abilities. So if you get 2 or 3 friends that cycle together, they're usually about the same ability. But if you get a group of 10 riders, there's going to be some that are much faster or much, they have more physical, they're physically, what should I say, my English is terrible. They're fitter. They're fitter than the others. So there's a gap, a difference in ability. So if we have more than, say, 4 or 5 riders, we will have maybe a support car at the back. This support car acts as I say, the sag wagon. It's also used for maintenance and for refreshments. Okay. And sometimes when we get the groups of 20 or 30, obviously we try to split them into smaller groups, because the bigger the group, the more difficult it is to do the tour. Obviously, we're riding on public roads, so that's a big problem. But if we have, say, more than 12, 15, I don't know, maybe we'll put another guide, okay, in between them. And then as the day goes along, the first 15 minutes, maybe everyone's all together in one line, yeah, one line like this. Because in Japan, you must ride in one line, yeah, okay. So maybe you have it all in one line, but during the day, people will slow down, people will speed up, and there'll become gaps. And this guide can't deal with the guys at the back. Even the sag wagon can't deal with them. So we have to split up, maybe into 2 groups, yeah? A slower group and a faster group. Yeah? And then if there are any problems, the support car can support them. But then again, the support car also has to go in front to the stops where we stop for a rest, so that he can hand out the refreshments and the drinks. So this guy here is a very important role. He's picking up the people from the back, he's repairing any punctures that occur, but he's also going ahead to set up the food stops for the groups. Okay. So, if we're talking about a tour of maybe 20 Chinese, Taiwanese, Hong Kongese, Hong Kongians. we would have, if an interpreter was necessary, then the interpreter, unless the interpreter was a keen cyclist, the interpreter would have to ride in the support wagon, yeah, which causes different problems. Yeah, maybe the support car can mend the puncture and can sort out some medical problems with riders. Yeah, so that's where the interpreter's role would fit in there. Yeah. Sometimes the support car is way behind when the guide is doing medical or mechanical problems, and so the interpreter will be stuck in the support car and can't help at the front. So again, it's a very difficult situation, and depending on the size and the type of riders and the ability of riders and the course and the distance, all depends on how this group is split up and how it moves. Yeah. So it's something. It's a type of tourism that is very on site. You have to think about. You have to think about and solve the problems actually on site. Yeah. So there's no sort of rule book. There's no Bible of cycle tourism. It's so different. There's so many variables that are put together. Okay, the ability of the rider, the number of riders, the route, the purpose of the ride. Some riders just come to ride as hard as they can, as far as they can. Some riders want to take photographs every 10 meters. Yeah. So it's very, very, each tour is very, very different. Okay. This is a very good photograph of a great group of Taiwanese. They were actually the, what's the word? Where they do the stretches in the morning? Something like that. It's not exactly that, it's something like that. They're all members of this association, and they were all very well behaved, and they all rode in single file, and this picture is probably about the only one that can use, because usually they're all over the road and things like that. So this is a photograph. So we try to keep, obviously that's the people taking photographs, we keep to the left of the road, the support car there, in case anyone needs anything out of their bag that they've left in their bag, and their water or food. Okay, that is not actually a good place to stop. That's on a curve, and so that really isn't a very good place to stop, but still. Okay, so what kind of problems do we need to be aware of during cycle touring? Okay, so we look at three main types of problems that occur. Okay, health and injury. Okay, road safety and manners, and maintenance and technical. Okay, so apart from the sort of the standard job of the guide explaining sites and history and things, culture about Hokkaido, we've also got these other three main problems that are pretty sort of specific to cycle tourism. Okay, maybe health and injury you get in other types of tourism, but certainly road safety and manners and the maintenance and technical side is something you don't get in any other type of tourism. So you get sort of mountain climbing. Yeah, mountain climbing occurs on mountains. Yeah, there's dangers. There's obviously similar dangers for injuries, but we cycle on public roads, so we have to take that into account too. Skiing, there's also lots of injuries and problems with health with skiing, but skiers ski usually on ski slopes, ski resorts. Yeah, we use public roads. So that is another, as I say, public roads is a very big part of the problems that we face with cycle tourism. Okay, so let's have a look at these individually. Health and injury. Health and injury. This is actually my leg from 2-3 years ago. So we get sort of different types of injuries associated with cycling. Yeah. Sunburn. This was probably one of the first couple of days of the season where it was warm enough to wear short pants, but the sun wasn't really out, so you didn't really take enough precautions. At the end of the day, you take your shorts off and you've got the red marks on the legs. My legs are like this year round still, but sunburn is a problem we get with cycle tourism. Road rash, what we call road rash, and that is people falling from bikes. Yeah. It's not such a common as you would expect. I mean, I don't know what you would expect, but I say falling from bikes. Usually falls are very slow speeds. Usually at junctions, people fall down at junctions and things like that. It's not a common problem, but it is common in the fact that every year we have hundreds and hundreds of people come cycling, so we're going to get 1 or 2 people falling from their bike and getting road rash. Okay. We do cycle tours for school trips, and you'll find that if you get more than 20 high school kids cycling, you'll get at least one fall off. Yeah. You can get 100 adults cycling and no one will get injured, but you get high school students and 1 or 2 will get road rash. Okay. And another thing is dehydration. Yeah. Not drinking enough water, and also hunger knock, not eating enough food. Okay, so that's sort of the medical and health and injury related items. Fortunately, I've been a cycle guide now for 5 years, 6 years, and up to now, I personally have had no serious injuries. I've had people fall off bikes. I've had people, a few grazes, a bit of road rash, things like that, but nothing serious, thankfully. We get things like stings, bee stings. I actually got a bee sting this year on my arm. Stings. Saddle sores, yeah. People who ride. Sometimes a lot of the tourists that come up for the day trips from Tokyo don't wear cycling shorts, so they just put on a pair of jeans or something like that and cycle 30 kilometers, and at the end of the ride, their backside hurts. Yeah, they get cycle sores or saddle sores. Sorry. Okay. Hunger knock from not eating enough. Suddenly you feel your legs just can't move because you're not getting enough energy. You're recommended to eat quite a lot and at regular intervals when cycling. Okay. And also, before we set off, each time we stop for a rest and before we set off, we also ask the riders how they feel. Sometimes they don't realize that they've got these problems, so we have to ask them and remind them to take a check themselves for any problems they may have, and also tell them that they must tell the guide as early as possible if they have any problems, so that we can deal with it. It's too late if they're suddenly sort of like feeling dizzy and falling over. If they could tell us quite early if they have not feeling so well or they have a little problem, then we can deal with it quickly and it doesn't escalate. Okay. So the next one is probably technically it's the most difficult, and that's sort of laws, road traffic laws and manners. a montage of sort of photographs here for different reasons. We're talking about actual road traffic laws. Yeah. Here we have what in Japan we call nidan usetsu, which is probably unique to Japan. There's probably no similar laws in any other country in the world. Yeah. Even if it was on the other side of even if they ride on the right hand side of the road, we wouldn't have a nidan sasetsu. Yeah. So this word in English is is not, even if you translate it into English, it's not sometimes not understood. I think in Australia they call it a hook turn. If you can see, this part here looks like a hook. Yeah. So they call it a hook turn. But if you said a hook turn in England, it would probably mean something completely different. So maybe this is something that you have to explain 2 or 3 times before the people understand what we're talking about. There isn't this way of thinking, so it's very difficult to translate. Okay. Signs, road signs in Japan are very different to signs, obviously, in other countries. Hand signals. Hand signals are fairly sort of similar around the world, although they differ very much. Even in Japan, there are some people who use different signals. So hand signals are something that maybe have to be explained to riders too. Picture here. A common sight, if you go to a foreign country, you see this quite often, but in Japan it's illegal. Yeah, riding 2 abreast, riding 3 abreast. Yeah, in Japan, single file. Yeah, one group of riders. You can't ride like this on a public road in Japan. I have my own thoughts about this. I think that riding in single file is actually more dangerous than riding 2 abreast, but that's another day. That's another story. Okay, and I've included the top right-hand photograph just to show you that even the police don't know the cital laws in Japan. Okay, so apparently it's illegal not to have a bell on your bike in Japan. Well, I've ridden for 30 years in Japan without a bell, and I've never been stopped. I've been stopped by the police, but I've never been stopped for not having a bell. I don't think the police even know that it's illegal not to have a bell. But still. The police, I cycle quite a lot in Tokyo in summer, and the police in Tokyo break more laws than the cyclists do. Still. Okay. So laws and manners and rules and things like that, that's another type of problem that we find with cycle tourism. Okay, and then I should imagine that if you're not a bike rider, then there are some cycle laws and rules that probably even you're not familiar with in Japan. So that's something else that we have to think about. Okay. And then we have sort of, this is probably the most difficult part, and this is the technical side. Now, when I sort of put together I give you a list of vocabulary and technical terms and things like this, and when I was putting that together, I realized that most of the words themselves, even if you translated them into Japanese, you wouldn't understand them. And so this is the part that's the most difficult, in the fact that if these riders, these tourists that are coming to Japan to cycle are keen cycling enthusiasts, then they themselves will know the terms, they will know the words. The tour guide will also know the words, and maybe the interpreter won't. So that's the biggest problem we have. But today, maybe if we can just sort of like do some of the general things, we'll concentrate on some of the more sort of common problems, and at least maybe you'll be able to explain or have conversations about such technical terms. Okay, so what we've got here, we've got pictures of mending punctures, which is obviously, punctures are probably the most common problem with cycle touring. Although probably not as common as you might expect. Yeah. I cycle over 10,000, maybe 12,000 kilometers a year. And each year I probably have, what, 2 or 3 punctures, if I'm unlucky. Sometimes I don't have one puncture. Unless I'm racing, I also race mountain bikes, and sometimes I have mountain bike punctures. But if you're cycling on the road, very, very rare. We had an event yesterday with 40 riders, and we cycled 90 kilometers, and one person had a puncture. So talking about sort of the possibility of having punctures, the probability of having punctures is really quite low if the wheels and the tires are maintained in the first place. Yeah. So punctures. Sometimes we get the odd broken spoke. Broken spoke may not seem so serious, but if a spoke breaks, then sometimes the wheel, the shape of the wheel changes, and it touches the brakes or it touches the frame, and it makes it difficult to ride. So that's another problem that we have. Chain problems. Sometimes we have problems with chain. Again, if your bike is well maintained, if the cyclists that are cycling, sometimes we do tours where we also rent out the bikes. Yeah. Sometimes the cyclists bring their own bikes, sometimes we rent out the bikes. If the bikes are well maintained, if they are like the bikes that I showed you earlier from Hong Kong, yeah, 1000 万の. If they're bikes like that, then they're well maintained. We don't have so many problems with chains. Okay. If they're not well maintained, then maybe we sometimes have chain problems. Okay. And other types of problems that we have are gear-related problems. Again, not all that common. But obviously, if you've got a group of 40 riders that are riding 100 kilometers a day for 5 days, there's quite a good chance that there's going to be some sort of mechanical problem that occurs during that time. Okay, so probably in the list of common problems is punctures, gear problems, chains, spokes, and maybe brakes are problems like that we occur. Okay. So now we get on to the sort of the serious part, and it's the sort of, before we get on to this, is there any questions at all about the sort of background or the general type, the general sort of system of operating cycle tourism? Yeah, maybe you're not all that familiar with it. Any questions general questions about cycle tourism itself? 日本語でもいいですよ、別に。はい。このようにグループの中で一人がパンクした場合、はい、ガイドはその人について他の方が挙げていってもらうんでしょうか。そうですね。誰がそのグループの中にパンクする人がいましたら、どうしましょうか。ガイドがその対応しますか、それとも、違う人が対応するんでしょうかっていう質問に対しての答えなんですけど、それが英語の方がいいか日本語どっちでもいいですかまあせっかくですからとりあえず英語でやりますんで、Again, it depends on the size of the group and how many guides we've got and whether we've got a support car. If it's a group of 3 or 4 with one guide, then the guide will, everyone will stop, will mend the puncture and continue. The guide, if the guide has gone through all the training, has got his guide license, then he should be able to mend the puncture within 10 minutes. Yeah. So we don't keep the other riders waiting. Okay, within 10 minutes we will mend the puncture. If if it's a larger group and there's a support car, the support car will stop and mend the puncture, and then will stay with that rider until he reaches the next rest stop. And at the next rest stop, the other riders will stop and wait for that rider. And so generally, we will wait for the rider who has had a puncture, whether that's actually at the site where he's had the puncture, or whether it's at the lunch stop or the break stop. That's depending again on the size. これもグループの大きさとか、あるいはそのツアーの種類によって対応が変わってくると思いますので、昨日は別にツアーというよりイベントだったんですけど、イベントの場合は、各グループのガイドがそのグループの担当ですから、人がパンクした時にその広報の、ガイドが対応してて、他の人たちは待ってなかった。そのまま続いて、でそのパンクした人が後ろのグループと合流してて行ったんですけど、ツアーの場合はそういう後ろのグループがない場合は、サポートカーが対応してパンク修理して、本当に時間がかかったとかどうしようもない、難しいメカニカルプロブレムだったら、その場でサポートカーに乗せて次の、休憩場所まで車で移動して、そこで修理する場合もあります。ですからthere's no special rule. It depends on the size and the type of riders, and also the location. Sometimes it's not suitable to mend punctures at that site. Okay. あとは何か質問とか何かありますか？多分ね、その通訳としての役割のちょっとまだ不明な部分があると思うんですけど、そういうどういう役割っていうかで、これぐらいの9月10月割とそういう海外からのメディアとかそういうツアーが結構頻繁に行ったんですね。でその場合は、必ず通訳が、つけたと思うんですけど、それがなぜかっていうと、多分そのなんだろうね、個人的には当然そういう通訳のツアーは参加したことないから何とも言えないんですけど、メディアの場合はちょっとそういう別の意味でガイドがつくと思うんですけど、その通訳案内士がつくと思うんですけど、普段に考えるとサポートカーに乗るしかないんです。あるいは自分が走るならそれはそれでいいんですけど、本当に高度の高い練習する方と一緒に走ると結構実は対応できないガイドもいますから、当然対応できない通訳もいると思いますから、一緒に走れるグループだったらまだいいけど、走られない場合は多いと思いますから、通訳はサポートカーの方に乗ることになると思います。Okay, if there are no questions, then I will go on to the next part, which is the vocabulary. Yeah. So you've been given sort of the sheets with the health and injury vocabulary. Of course, there are a host of things that could happen, but I've generally sort of concentrated on the things that are probably most common amongst cyclists or people who are on cycling tours. These are all the same. I think you've all been given a handout, so the same actual vocabulary on the handout. Yeah. Buttock pain. Yeah. This is actually different to saddle sore. Yeah. Saddle sore is actually the kabure, yeah, the actual dekimono. Yeah. Whereas buttock pain is more of probably a muscle pain than a saddle sore pain. Carbohydrates are what you're recommended to take in before you cycle. Carbohydrates turn into energy. You know. Chapped lips. Autumn is a very common. It's a very common problem in autumn. Chapped lips. Chapped lips are what you get when the air is pretty dry, as it is right now. Yeah. And obviously, when you're cycling 20, 25, 30 kilometers an hour, and it's your lips that get it. You get the sunburn too, yeah, and chapped lips. The collarbone. The collarbone is a very common cycling injury. People who fall from their bikes often break their collarbones. It's a very common cycling injury. I've broken my collarbone once, but it was playing rugby, not cycling. So, concussion. Obviously on the tours, everyone rides. Everyone wears a helmet. I always wear a helmet when I'm cycling in my cycling wear. I always ride a helmet when I'm on tours. I always ride a helmet when I'm training. I always wear a helmet when I'm racing. I never wear a helmet when I'm just going shopping, because I look like a Mormon. I'm actually against making it law. Apparently in Australia now, it's the law. You must wear a helmet whenever you cycle, and I think that puts a lot of people off cycling. So the number of people cycling in Australia has gone down recently because are made to wear a helmet. So I always wear a helmet, but I don't think it should be made obligatory. Okay. Obviously, you can even get concussion if you wear a helmet. If the bang is so bad, even if you're wearing a helmet, you can still get concussion. Okay. Cramp is something that I don't get it when I'm cycling. I get it after I cycle. I get it when I'm getting out of the car or when I'm sleeping at night. But maybe that's just old age. Yeah. Cramp is something that you get with cycling. Obviously, dehydration, not drinking enough water. That's actually one of the problems that I forget. I forget to drink. That's something that is common among cyclists. Feeling dizzy could be a combination of heat. It could be a combination of lack of food, lack of drink, but being dizzy. We always ask the cyclists if they feel dizzy or if they feel sick. Hamstring injuries are probably footballers get hamstring, soccer players get hamstring injuries, very common. Not so much in cycling, but it can occur if the saddle height is not suitable. If you have a saddle that's too high or that's too low, it's sometimes possible to get hamstring injuries. Yeah. Heat stroke, certainly, perhaps not in Japan this year, but sometimes in Hokkaido in some years we get really, really hot. I think this year there was one really hot period at the end of July or beginning of August when it was really hot. We get sort of symptoms of heat stroke during that period. Hunger knock. Hunger knock can creep up on you and not know. You might not feel hungry, but suddenly your legs don't move. Yeah, and it's the lack of energy. Even if you eat, then you can't get your energy back. So it's better to eat before you become hungry. Yeah. So a little bit at regular intervals. That's something again we explain to the riders before we start. Knee pain. Again, if your saddle is too high or too low, especially if it's too low, knee pain is a problem that you get. A lot of these injuries are caused by bad posture. So if your bike, the size of your bike or the fitting of your bike is not good, then your posture is not good, and maybe you get some injuries. Yeah. Road rash occurs when you fall off your bike and you graze your skin on the road. Yeah. Saddle sore. Saddle sores are you can get them even if you wear the special cycling pants. But if you wear the cycling pants it reduces the chance of getting saddle sores. Yeah. Obviously, if you ride a shopping bike, the saddle is big and you sit on the saddle and it's comfortable and you don't get saddle sores so much. If you look at some of the sports bike, they have very narrow saddles, yeah, and you don't actually sit on the saddle, you sort of just rest your backside on the saddle. And because the saddle size is so small, then sometimes it's a case of you get saddle sores. I have a backside, it's like an elephant, so I don't get so much. My skin is like on my backside it's like an elephant. It's got so hard and wrinkly, and it's not such a problem. Sore throats are also a problem you get cycling. Again, the dry air and the wind on your throat. Yeah, and of course sunburn. Yeah, sunburn. Okay. Can anyone think of any problems that you could get from cycling? Any cycling related injuries or ailments or preventative measures that you can think of? It's not a contact sport. Yeah, cycling is very, very good. It's, along with swimming, cycling is said to be one of the sports that you can enjoy until you're very old, because there's no actual sort of, if you go running a marathon, people get ankle injuries, knee injuries. Yeah, there's lots of sort of contact. It's not so good on the body. Cycling is not like that. Cycling is a very, very easy on the body if you do it at certain levels, and you can actually cycle until you're 80 or 90 because the physical sort of contact and the hardship on the body is not so great. Okay. Okay. But is any other things? There's not all that many sort of injuries that you can. Obviously, if you have a crash, a car crashes into you, you're going to get broken limbs and things like that. But apart from sort of maybe the collarbone injuries and maybe sometimes wrist injuries, it's very rare to get sort of broken bones with just cycling injuries, unless you hit something. Yeah, if you just fall off, then maybe not so much. Okay, and on the other side, it's actually a little bit too small for me to see. Okay, maybe it's best if I look at this. So, specifically cycle-related vocabulary, things like climb. So we're talking about, maybe if you're talking about outdoors and you say climb, you're talking about mountain climbing. Yeah, with cycling, it's a word we use for riding uphill. Yeah, climb. Drafting, slipstreaming. Drafting is another cycling term used for riding behind someone. Yeah, 空気抵抗を、少なくするために人の後ろに走ると疲れない。Maybe you've seen races, the Tour de France and things like that, where everyone's grouped behind. Drafting, we call it, in English. This is something that I've never, as a 40 years of cycling, I've never paid much attention to myself. But I find that tourists who come from China, Taiwan, maybe Hong Kong, they're obsessed by it, and that's cumulative elevated gain. Yeah, 獲得標高. Yeah, I went on a tour this year, and it was over the Shirotoko Pass, and he said, we went to the 5 lakes and then over the Shirotoko Pass down into Rouse, and he said, what's the altitude? What's the height? And I said, well, the Shirotoko Pass is about 700 meters. And he said, well, okay, that's okay. That's okay. So we went to the 5 lakes, and then we came back, and we were just cycling up to the Shirotoko Pass, and he said, we've already done 900 meters. もうすでに900メートル登ってる。いやいやいやいや、違うじゃん。知床700メートルしかないんですよ。いやいやいや、900メートルも登ってる。 でよく考えるとその5校まで行くの道がアップダウンがある。でその獲得標高がその1回登ってちょっと登ったら1回下ってちょっと登ったらそれを足し算する。よくわかんない。で彼がもう5校まではもうすでに500メートル登ってるっていう、その何回下って登って下って登ってで足して500メートルで戻ったら334だったかな、3345線シェルト峠で途中でもうすでに500メートルを登ってるっていう言い張る中国人がいたんですよね。でよく考えたらそういうcumulative、elevated gain というで正直僕も分からなかった。こういう登ったら登る、下ったらそれを引くじゃないかと僕は思うけど分かんないけど、but again それがそのなんていうの自転車の文化がその国によって違うから、いくらその言葉知ってるとかそういうそのなんていうの通訳できてもそういう文化も分かんないと私たちもなかなか難しいと思います。Hand signals itself この言葉自体が問題ないと思うんですけど、そのhand signalその手信号の自体が国によって違うかもしれないですね。でその場面によって違う。でよく教科書とかなんかそういう使うのは、昔は右折するときは右手、左折するときは左手、違うどこだったなんかね、右手をこうするとかなんかパターンもあるらしいんですけど、なんかブレーキの感覚でなんかブレーキは離れないでこうやったりとか、だいたい世界中ではもうこういう手信号で、あと止まるという手信号があるんですけど、でそれが、教科書を見るとみんなその背中の方に手をこういうふうにただそう1人以上2人以上になると後ろの人見えないから、それがでこれが見えないからこういうの方が今使ってます。特にツアーの場合は何人が、一緒にいるとこれが使う。ただこの手信号自体も誰のため、これが他のライダーのための手信号、それとも一般運転手とか車を運転してる人のための手信号で、それによってちょっと変わってくるかもしれないからなかなか難しいんですよね。それがなんていうの最初の説明だけを触れるかもしれないから、そのしょっちゅうそういう話すことはないかもしれないですね。でフックターンあるいは、2 step right turn、 これも先ほど言ったんですけど、これは英語に訳しても通じない場合は多分ありますから、これが実際に、説明しないと。で信号が青になってまっすぐ行って左曲がる。右曲がりたいだったら左曲がって U ターンして次の信号で待つということになるんですよね。で1人2人だったら全然問題ないですよ。その直進でちょっとだけそういうふうになんか止まってでこの信号が青になったら進むんですけど、これが10人とか15人だったらもうとんでもないことになっちゃうんですよね。結局こういうことになりますので、ここ右曲がりたいけどとりあえずこの信号で止まります。で1人2人の場合はまっすぐ行ってちょっとこの辺で止まる。でこういう形がフックって言ったらフックターンのフックになるんですけど、でこの信号が青になったらそれが右折のことですけど、これが5人とか10人とか15人だったらこういうことになるんですよね。で最初の2人がこういうのでどんどん人が来る。 で結局逆走になるんですよね、この辺。これがサイクルツーリズムの人数のいる時の難点ですよね。本当に難しい。だからたまにここで半分になって半分降りて歩いて走るという場合もあるんですよね。これが非常にサイクルガイドの悩むところですね。でそれを説明しなくちゃいけない場合もあります。でその場合は2 step right turn とか、あるいはオーストラリア人だったらオーストラリアで、オーストラリア英語が通じる人だったら、フックターンとかなんかそういうは、もしかしたら使えるかもしれないですね。実はフックターンはそういうオーストラリアではそういう言葉あるんですけど、フックターンはもしかしたらイギリス人に言うとこういうフックターンになっちゃう。これレフトフックという。でこれは日本ではよくあるんですけど、交差点の手前に車に追いかけられて追い越されて車が左折するんですよ。でそれが危ない。もう大体ブレーキしなくちゃいけないんですよね。でそれがよくボクシングのレフトフックという言葉で、今日レフトフックでやられたという話なんですよね。でこのレフトフックとフックターンはもしかしたら勘違いする人いるかもしれないからちょっとややこしいですね。本当のフックターンは正しい自転車の右折の仕方。レフトフックがとんでもない運転手がやっちゃう行為ですね。気をつけなきゃいけない。で、オーバーテイク、追い越す。これは特に問題ないと思います。リフレクター、よく自転車に後ろの赤い反射板とか、前は白い反射板とか、リフレクター。Riding out of the saddle. Riding out of the saddle. Again, when we're climbing on the bikes, 立ちこぎ. Riding out of the saddle. We also call it dancing. Dancing. Riding out of the saddle. Right of way. Again, this is something we have to explain to riders from different countries. Yeah. Who has the right of way on the roads? Okay. The shoulder of the road. The shoulder of the road. Again, this is different size, different widths on different roads. Yeah. Single file. Again, in Japan, we must ride in single file. Two abreast. I prefer riding two abreast. I think it's safer, but unfortunately in Japan we have to ride in single file. Undertake. This is the other, not the opposite, but overtaking is oikos on the right hand side. Undertaking is what cyclists do to cars sometimes on the left hand side. Yeah. それもちょっといろいろ問題あると思うんですけど、でちょっと今時間があれだから、テクニカルのタームの方はこれ説明してもねしょうがないから、この写真があってさっきのリストもあるんですけど、正直これ言ってもね通じない場合もあると思いますんで、それ、自転車興味ある方ぜひそれをちょっと見て覚えた方がいいんじゃないかなと思うんですけど、とりあえずなんかワークショップ的なペアになる前に、このテクニカルターム、パーツとか自転車のパーツとかそういうに関する質問、実は私はずっとこういう言葉と思ってたんですけど違うのという質問とかなんかありますか？あるいはさっきの法律的なこととかどうやって説明するのとかそういうような質問がありましたらぜひ今でも。はい。
このトップチューブと、はい、トップチューブっていうのはフレームの一部だと思ったんですけど。
そうです。
そうなんですか。
トップチューブは、フレームがこの三角の2つ、こっちがフレームですね。でそのフレームの いろんな部分があって、これがダウンチューブと言って、でこれがトップチューブで、これがチェーンステイ、いろんなそのフレームの一部分的にはあるんですけど、で実はこの絵をどっからなんか引っ張ったから、もう完全じゃないからあちこち抜いてるとか、なんかちょっと入れない部分、正直に入れない部分もあるんですけど、トップチューブはフレームの一部ですね。はい。でもちろんこれはすごい細かいですけど、フロントディレイラーとかリアディレイラーとか、全体的にギア覚えたらもうギアのことですね。ギアでもっと細かいと、いろんな部分がパーツ的には名前がありますね。当然フィールもフィールのパーツ的には全体的にフィールだけど、実はスポークとハブとリムとか全部、ありますね。OK。これは正直にこれね、いくら教えてもその興味がなければ、あるいはその実際の動きとかなんか分からなかったら役に立ってないと思うんですよね。その実際に乗ってる人が詳しくて、ガイドも詳しかったらテクニカルターム同士で通じるから、通訳者がそんなになんていうの入る必要ないかもしれないですね。じゃあちょっとペアでまずそのあると思いますけれども、英語から日本語と日本語から英語の場合もありますから、まず日本語から英語のガイドがよく使う、フレーズとかで、もう一つがその英語から日本語は向こうからよく言われることとか質問されることになりますので、まずこの日本語を自分のパートナーに、日本語から英語を説明してください。それを訳してこういう説明してください。でそれが1234567つがあるから、お互いに1があって、それが終わったら今度、もう一人の方が2をして日本語から英語に訳してください。Okay? でそれが終わったら今度ね、英語から日本語をする。で途中でちょっといろいろ発表していただきたいなと思うから、これに関してもなんかみんななんかすごい難しい顔してるんですけど、大丈夫ですか？なんか説明はなんか足りないかな。いや、もし質問なかったらどうぞペア同士で。単語のリストは多分役に立つと思うから、その単語のリストを見ながらこの日本語を英語に訳してください。これ大体出発する前に説明するんですよね、お客さんに。でこういう説明が結構大事ですので。じゃあちょっとみんなの前でちょっと発表していただきたいんですけど、多分下までまだ行ってない方がいらっしゃいますんで、1から始まります。誰か、1の英訳をボランティアの方いないだろうね。いないですよね。じゃあお願いします。
Okay, please run on the left side in a single file, and please don't run side by side except you are overtaking something. And please follow the road signals, every road signal, and please use your hand signals as much as possible.
Oh, thank you. Good. You use the word run. 走るっていう、確かにね。で、自転車の場合は走るって言ったらちょっとおかしいから、ride の方がいいですね。確かにね、run はよく 使われてます。ride の方がいいですね。OK。じゃあこっち側の方、2番。じゃあこの女性の方お願いします。
So please keep the traffic signal and also follow the instruction from your guide, hand signal, and then also what the guide says. And when you make a right turn, so please take the to take the two-step right turn, and yeah, so that means you need to take a left turn first, and then make a U-turn to the right side.
OK。いや、確かにその二段右折は確かに説明的にも難しいと思います。always keep って聞いたんですけど、obey ですね。obey。OK。じゃあ日本語から英語もう一つやりますね。3番。どうぞ。
Please do not overtake our guide unless you have instructed so. Please do not take photos or use cell phones while you are riding. 走っている時にイヤホンやヘッドホン着用しない。Do not wear earphones or headphones while you are riding.
OK, good. もう発音的にもうちょっとイヤホンズ、ヘッドホンズ、イヤホンズ。OK。とりあえず、こういうような説明は、走る前にありますから、これがガイドからの、指示とかで、逆にお客さんからの、質問とか問題が今度英語から日本語になります。でもう一つのページがあって、これもちょっと5分ぐらいに、短いですからこれを、日本語に訳してください。この英語が非常にテクニカルタームが多いと思います。苦労してると思いますんで。みんな一から、やってると思うから、逆に私が、下の方からちょっと、やりたいと思います。じゃあいきなりちょっと無茶ぶりですけど申し訳ないんですけど、7番でお願いします。
私の辺に、自転車を持ってっていいですか。私は、倉庫ストアルームに置いておきたくはありません。そこが安全だとしても、ストアルームですか、物置じゃなくて、保管所に置いておきたくありません。
OK, good, thank you. OK。じゃあごめんなさい。いや今度6番でお願いします。
サイクリングのウェアのせいで、股がかぶれています。クリームを変えるところはありますか？
なるほど。OK。いや、特にこの英語の場合はいろんななんか専門的な言葉とかいろいろありますんで、ちょっと無茶ぶりだったと思うんですけど、ただ、一応全部ボキャブラリーリストに入ってるはずだったから、ちゃんと勉強してたらできたんじゃないかなと思います。じゃあこの英語あるいはこの日本語に対する質問とか何かありますか？多分ね、後で見たらなるほどっていうことになると思いますんで、もう何度も言っても分かんない部分もあると思います。なかなか難しいと思います。はい。はい。なるほど。実は、こういうそのペダルの部分が今スキーのビンディングみたいなようにガチャッと固定するようなペダルで、そのメーカーによって自分が使うシューズとそのペダルが合わない時もあるから、そのシューズとペダルの合成のことを自分の靴持ってくるお客さんがいます。 でシマノの靴を持ってくるけどペダルがルックとかそういうようなそういう自分の靴を持ってきたけどシマノのクリップレスペダルを使いたいっていう日本語の5番失礼しましたギアのこの大きいチェーンリングとこの小さいチェーンリングがあってでそれをこの切り替えが左でそれを切り替える方が右にあるでこれが微調整で微調整の場合は右で使おうでこれを大きく変えると左の方を使おうという説明でこういうスポーツバイクを乗ったことない人もそれも説明しなくちゃいけないから入れたんですけどそういうなんていうのもしかしたら初心者の方だったらこれ分かんないから説明しなくちゃいけない場合もあります。そうだからこの英語と日本語は中には分かんないと思いますね。これが仕方がないと思いますのでもし質問とかこれ以上質問がありましたら、個別でぜひ後ほどでもいいけどとりあえず、時間になりましたので、これは終了させていただきたいと思いますがありがとうございました。